Silvie Granatelli, and the pots in this gallery are part of my ceramic collection. I'm a potter, and I've collected pottery all of my studio life, from the very first year. There's a passion for it. I love pottery. I love lots of other things. I'm really kind of a collector in general. But these particular pieces are from a handful of ceramic artists who are in their mid-career to late career, and their work is very singular and distinctive. They have strong voices, and I'm going to go around and talk about each person just a little bit and then end up with my work at the end. So this is the work of Sam Taylor, and Sam Taylor lives in rural Massachusetts. I met him years ago at craft shows, and I would see him year after year and fell in love with his work. It's very strong work. It's made on a potter's wheel, but it's altered drastically and very ruggedly in many cases. This particular piece is one of the newest acquisitions that I've gotten from him. And when I first saw them online, and I liked what I was seeing. They weren't finished, and then I saw them finished, and I bought one. And part of collecting is about arranging. And so when I saw that pot, I thought, wow, it's a boat. It's referencing a boat. What would I put in it? And I've just had a great time with it. It sits on our counter in the kitchen where we eat several meals a day, and I usually have it full of fruit or nuts, different things, different seasons, and it looks good with everything. This particular piece is a vase, and it's got a water bird on it, and on the other side, I'm going to walk around to the back. The other side has another image of a water bird, and very different. That one's almost, you have to look at it for a minute before it really registers what it is because of the square that he's designed the bird in. It's become a stylized, almost like an icon. It's a very large vase, and I use it. I use everything. So that vase, I've often put ferns from the woods in with florist lilies, which makes a big presentation, and it's quite a statement. And the other one that I like to use in that vase is hydrangeas. They're big flower forms, and they fill out the space above the pot. The bowls on the front side here are different. One is thrown on a potter's wheel and trimmed in a traditional way. The one that's laying flat is hand formed and then carved out. So he's not, he's using a tool to gouge the clay out. The idea of the circles, the bowl is a circle, the circles are in the bowl. Is it moons? Is it fruit? Is it circles? It's just, it's very captivating to me. I like to think of it as fruit, and I like to think of these as sort of like some kind of beautiful Asian fruit. And the striped ones are a set of vases. So this work is by Nickrling, and Nick lives in the Penland area of North Carolina. So there's a school in Penland called the Penland School of Crafts, School of Arts and Crafts now. And Nick's been there for a very long time. His work is lyrical, it's figurative. Actually, sometimes I think every single pot, the way he handles the clay and the way he deals with the surface is all about figures. And there's a quality of dance in the way he moves the clay and in the forms that he ends up with. And as it turns out, Nick really likes dance, not necessarily dancing himself, although he likes that, but he likes to go to see dance performances. So it's like a part of how he sees the world and what he likes in movement. So his pots are a lot about movement. His dinner plates are very easy to use, and they're fun to mix and match. I have several sets of them. His presentation pieces are extravagant, and they make an extravagant presentation. So in terms of food and entertaining and setting out a display, these pieces are really, truly amazing. And I have used all of them. Okay, so this is Mark Shapiro, and Mark Shapiro lives near Sam Taylor in Massachusetts, and they fire and share kilns, wood-fired kilns with salt. Mark's work is very articulate. It's inspired by traditional pottery, but it has this beautiful, elegant edges on it. Like the work on the teapot and the work on the tall jar here are, there's a lot of drawing that looks almost like it's music. It looks like it's moving in its music, or it looks like it's Arabic script. The teapots they're perfect to use. They're a great size, and they're handsome just as forms and silhouette. This is a pottery couple who live again in the same area that Nick Jorling does in Penland, North Carolina, and they're very different than each other. And Susie Lindsay, the female of the partnership, her work is very simply made in a way. It looks simple, but it's not, and it's really, really fun to use. Like that candelabra, that's the second one I've had. It's just a fabulous thing to light up. This is a very simple little bowl. We use lots of small bowls, and this one is a particularly perfect size, and it gets touched a lot. Susie's kind of figurative forms where there are legs that splay out. They have an animal figurativeness about them and a people figurativeness about them. And this one, the brushwork is very elegant. Kent McLaughlin, his pots, he uses porcelain and he uses stoneware. In this case, all of these pieces are stoneware. And that's right. Nope, this one's porcelain. So this is a ewer, and we have a set of these dinner plates, and love the sort of botanical design on the surface and the color. It's a happy color, and they're fun to use, and they're fun to mix with other dinnerware. The pitcher is a traditional, very elegant and tall pitcher that works beautifully. This work is by Ron Myers, and Ron Myers lives in Athens, Georgia, predominantly a professor of ceramics at the University of Georgia. But he's one of those professors who had a very full and productive studio life. I don't think I've ever met somebody that made as many pots as he does. The way that he handles the clay and the way that he draws on the surface is very, very married. It's very cogent. I noticed something when we were looking at these pots at the very beginning. This frog piece, now I don't know whether this is the truth or not, but this is a frog, and all of a sudden I saw these two nostrils, which then I thought, oh no, that's eyes, and this is a mouth, and so here it looked like a little cat to me. And that's the kind of thing, there's a lot of drawing in Ron's work, and there's a lot of surprises when you look carefully at it. I've had his work since the 70s, and I never get tired of it. We have dinner plates by him, and they're fun to use. Again, mixing them with other people's ceramics, other dinner plates. He does sculptural work, like this candle holder. It looks very fast. I've seen him work many times. He's just a terrific potter, just really, really interesting. So this is my work, and as you see, it's very different than the work that I collect. And maybe the closest person here would be Mark Shapiro to a kind of style and articulation of forms. and edges are similar. My work is porcelain, and I've been living in Floyd County since 1981, and I've made my living as a potter here. And I like a lot of animal imagery as well, and colors that are grabbing.